You probably have experienced this. Someone seems interested in you. Maybe you approached a woman and then you fall in love with her. You start texting for a while. You maintain a conversation. You start doing things. Maybe you meet her daily. And suddenly, they no longer seem interested. They start pulling away. And you start wondering, how the hell did it get to this? How did I mess up in the process? And then you start maybe saying that you are not giving her full attention. And so you start texting and texting and texting. You start over explaining yourself. And when you do this, it makes things even worse. They go ahead and they start pulling back again. And then this goes on for a while. And then all of a sudden, you start writing paragraphs. And then all of a sudden, you get blocked. And you start to wonder, what the hell did I do? You start analyzing all your texts. You start going through everything. Start thinking that there is a problem. Maybe you said something wrong that made you get rejected. You start wondering, were they faking it all along? There was a time in my life, like I was in a really beautiful relationship. I had like a 10 over 10 girl, and I used to be so busy. I was so productive with my life. I used to like work out, go to the gym, put my work first, and in the process I did not have very much time to reply to texts, or I was not really social at that time. But then something came up and I got hooked, and I started, she used to complain a lot that I'm not really texting her, and she feels bad about it. But the love used to increase even if she complained. But then, so I saw this, and in my fear of losing her, I ended up texting all day, replying to texts, ruining my schedule for her, and in the process, she lost attraction. She started pulling back, and so I started texting more and more and more in order not to lose her. She started graying me, and I would text again and again and again. I would insist on meetups, maybe like daily. I just wanted to maintain that conversation. And so, in the process, I ruined it all. And I left with absolutely nothing. And maybe she even got a man who she was more interested in, who had like this aura more than me. You probably have realized this, and this is going to sound a bit controversial, but well, I'm here to make you improve. So I'm here to say the things that people will not like, but will make you improve in your life. The time you give too much, you tell people everything, your job, your relationship, the things you want in life, maybe the good things you have. You tell people everything, and you think that by over explaining yourself, you will gain their respect and their love, and they will come to accept you. But in reality, it is the opposite. People become repelled by you, because a person who is always talking, who is always over explaining things, cannot be trusted. So the mystery is one of the key principles in relationships, or in everything you do, because people want to figure out on their own what you do. So whenever you explain everything, you tell people whatever you are doing, you end up ruining it for them, and so they will lose that attraction. It's an important trait to have, and by the end of this video, you'll come to know exactly how to master it. So be busy. Have like a really fixed schedule schedule whereby you are always active. You don't have time for meaningless conversations. You don't have time to waste, talking to people, over explaining yourself. You're always active. There's a bunch of things you can do to improve yourself. And in my past videos, I've explained everything. A person who has a purpose does not need to explain himself, will not have time to talk to people, to hold meaningless conversations. And so if you have a purpose, you will always be working on that purpose. You will start to increase your value, and as you increase your value, your mystery also increases, and you become a high tier man. You don't need long texting conversations to maintain a good relationship. You just need a bit of time where you're present. You just give them a small period of time, but you're fully present. Whenever you give out time and your attention is elsewhere, they will sense it. And so this is the best way to go about it. And the second point is have an abundant mindset. An abundant mindset is an important thing to have in every area of your life. Be it relationship, be it money, be it everything. You have to have an abundant mindset. Because whenever you feel like a person is pulling away and you start becoming desperate, then you're going to ruin it more. So by having an abundant mindset, you will always know that you will get something better. And so you will not always be there acting out of desperation and ruining things. Having an abundant mindset also comes in business. Whenever you have an abundant mindset, you will not make deals or get into business with people that you know will mess up your life. So it's actually an important phase to learn. And having an abundant mindset is another topic in of itself that I'm going to explain in the future. Women don't really like clingy men. They can sense it in you. And so the attraction, I've always given this example. Maybe there are two types of guys. One who is always available, and there is another one who has a mission in his life. The one who is available is always texting, is always being there for you. Every time you just call and he'll put out all his schedule, for you. And there is another one who is always on his mission, who is always building value. Which one are you most likely to get attracted to if it was you? And the answer, if you are being honest with yourself, the answer is the person who is of high value, who does not really have that much time. I'm not saying that you start playing games or you start, behaving like you're not there. You should give people time, but limited amount of time where you are fully present. When you stop being clingy, it actually makes you attractive. The third point is stop over-explaining yourself. Whenever you are over-explaining yourself, you think people will respect you, people will come to know you more, and so they will relate with you. But it's actually false. When you over-explain yourself, you actually put resentment into people. People will start to resent you, and people will actually use the information against you. Many friends we have nowadays, they are like snakes. They are ready to attack you with the slightest bit of opportunity they get. So whenever you feel like you want to over-explain yourself, just shut up. It's not that hard thing to do. Get used to silence. I know silence is uncomfortable, but once you get used to silence, then you'll start becoming powerful. And the fourth point is you have no business wasting time with people who do not add value to your life or who do not improve themselves. And I know this will come off as pride, but come to think of it, you're actually better because you actually put in the effort to become a high value man. And people who do not, they do not need your validation. You don't need their validation. That is what I wanted to say. And when you start realizing this, you will stop putting people on a pedestal. You'll stop acting like they are your whole life. And so your mystery will increase. When you start acting like the high value man, then your mystery begins to increase. When you start respecting your time and your attention, then in turn, people will start respecting you. Fifth point is make your words vague. And this is like a law of power. You don't, whenever you're talking, this requires like some skill and a lot of practice. Making your words vague. So, by making your words vague, where people cannot fully interpret what you mean, or you're not giving out the full information, you just give half of it. Whenever you do this, people will always start asking themselves questions. They will start questioning the meanings behind your actions and behind your words. Right now, if you are unframed, you will start thinking to yourself, what is the point of going through all this? But once you know this, the world revolves around mystery. If you come to think of it, the most mysterious people are the most attractive to other people. So if people cannot know whatever you're up to, whatever you're doing, then they will instantly respect you. Sixth point is be slow in your actions. This will allow you to be cautious, and you will start to save you from it will save you from talking a lot of things. And whenever you talk, you start listening to your thoughts, and before you put out your words, you will start thinking twice, and so you will begin to become mysterious. When you speak so slow, you are able to think through your actions. Mystery is a broad topic. Mystery is like a broad topic. It's often overlooked. But once you master it, then your social life will begin to bear fruits. You'll start becoming mysterious. And as always, every action you take carves the man you become.